Greetings and salutations to you all on this Turkey Eve. You guys are awesome for sending me these questions, and this is another mini Q&A before the Great Turkey Day. And also, guys, for those that actually watched my Why Do You Hate John Cena video that I did 2 years ago, it's finally reached 1,000 views. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And I actually am thinking about doing another video that's somewhat based on that, but I think about calling it I'm Not a Cena Hater, But I Understand. And it's pretty much geared towards what I kind of sort of feel, my feelings towards John Cena during Survivor Series, and after. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about for the discussion. But it's not the discussion. This is actually a Q&A. So let's get started with the first set of questions from my Twitter that was sent to me by Elliot Powell. Your first question for me is, any wrestler from past or present would you enter in the Royal Rumble match to go to go towards WrestleMania 31? Let me see. I guess we'll start with the high flyers. It's definitely going to be Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, if he's there, and I think he's not anymore. It'll definitely be Matt Hardy, John Morrison, let me see, Rey Mysterio. That'll be my high flyers. Then let's go to the powerhouses. You'll definitely have Ryback, Batista, Mason Ryan, and I would definitely have the Big Show in there. And you would actually gotta have you have to have Mark Henry. Like, you have to have two giants, three powerhouses, and all the high flyers in there, because high flyers make it fun. So yeah, those are my 10 people that I would actually put in the Royal Rumble. But your next question for me is, The Undertaker represents the last ride match. Only two happened. Who do you want to see compete in this match? Triple H, by far. Triple H has shown me that he can literally take the Undertaker to the limit, and it would definitely be a really great match to watch. After witnessing it, of course, I've said about a million times, WrestleMania 27, one of the best streak matches I've ever witnessed. I will say that that Undertaker versus Triple H would be awesome. So I would definitely say Triple H, hands down, by far. The third question for me is, would you agree that the champ's not here, Brock Lesnar, not defending the belt, for 4 months is making the belt look weak? No, I actually think that it makes the belt look a little bit more desirable, because Brock Lesnar is booked as a beast. He is a beast. He's 100% beast. Nobody could ever beat him without leaving with some major scars. Just ask John Cena when he had his butt handed to him not once but twice. So honestly, in my opinion, with Brock Lesnar not being there, it makes the belt more desirable, especially when you finally see him for the championship match at WrestleMania. That's how I personally feel about it. I don't really think it's making it look weak. I think it's making it look better. So I really don't mind Brock holding it, especially in the way he's doing it. And your last question for me is, remember when the network came out? Michael Cole said the WWE network is like Netflix, or only better. I want your fact and opinion. Okay, fact is, in a way, when you have the option to choose whatever matches that you want to see, whether or not it's from 1983 or 1995 or 2014, you have that option. So in a way, it's kind of sort of like Netflix, and it is better for wrestling fans. So I guess the best way of saying it, you can watch any match you want to, and also they actually add original content on there, which is pretty interesting to watch, especially those that did not live through the Attitude Era, as well as the Ruthless Aggression Era, as well as the Golden Era, the McMahon Helmsley. For those that want to go back and actually see those eras, they have the opportunity to go back and experience it. So in a way, it is kind of like Netflix, but cooler, because it immerses you in the wrestling business as a whole. Well, not really business, but more like the whole wrestling world as a whole. It kind of immerses you in it. So I will say that it is somewhat cooler. But I will say that my opinion about it is, it does have a lot of work to do. It has a lot of kinks to straighten out, because number one, the streaming does have problems, especially when it comes to logging on. You always have errors, but that is something they can work out eventually. That's not really a big thing. And I will say that when it comes to their on-demand, they had an issue with that at first, for the first few weeks. Actually, for the first few months, they had no on-demand, and then they added on-demand in there, so things will kind of get better. But as time actually goes on, I think that the WWE Network will get better. Right now, they still need a lot of work. So that's my opinion on it. But thank you so much for your questions. And now let's move on to the ones that I actually do have on YouTube. My first set of questions comes from Jack Trice. Do you think Nicole Richie looks like a bird? Not entirely. I think she looks a lot better than she did back in the day. She doesn't like she's starving or anything, and that's really cool. I'm kind of happy that she looks like she's not dying. So yay, kudos to her. What are your thoughts on the American Horror Story Freak Show that airs on Wednesdays at 10 on FX? I guess that's a shout out. But anyway, I kind of lost I kind of lost interest in the American Horror Story. I liked it the first time it came out because it was a great premise. It actually had a great story for each of the characters involved in that house. But the thing is, they actually kind of made the house end up being a horror story, but then they kind of went off being zombie land and ghost land, and they kept going. It kept going in so many directions that they didn't even know where they were and where they started off at first. It kind of lost their way. So I kind of lost all interest in the series, and anything that came out next, I didn't care about. I really did. Um, I don't watch it, in other words. Do you watch The Walking Dead? I recently started watching. Can you give me the backstory on every single thing? Maybe not every single thing because I started just now watching The Walking Dead for this current season. I will say this. All I know is that there was a sheriff that was in a shootout. He ended up getting injured. Then he ended up waking up in a hospital to the zombie apocalypse. So we really don't know entirely what's going on with the whole how the zombie apocalypse began, how everybody's able to get sick. There were so many things that they kind of left out. But I will say this: there's a ton of plot holes. There's a ton of plot holes and inconsistencies in this show. But it's not so much about that. It's about the characters themselves. And the characters are so great. You kind of ignore all the flaws and just kind of focus on the characters that you like. Which pretty much leads towards the next question that you asked me is who is that guy that looks like Seamus on The Walking Dead? That guy is Abraham. And Abraham is a quintessential, awesome, hardcore, zombie, beaten down dude. Like, he's like a hardcore guy, and you know he has a military background. He doesn't really play around. He has the mission and he's going to stick to it. And that's the one thing I like about Abraham. I really do. He has a lot of heart, but he also has drive. He has drive and he has direction. So I kind of do admire, and he does kind of go psycho at times, but I will say that Abraham is the one guy I really do respect. And he kind of does look like Seamus with that fiery red hair. I don't know if he's Irish or not, but all I know is that he is cool. He could probably be Seamus's brother, or maybe his dad. I don't know, but either or, yeah, I can see what you're saying. But moving on from there to Escaterio Hampton. If is Final Limits and Large 85 the same person using two different names, what do you think? No, they're different people. I actually had a chance to see both of them, and yeah, well, pictures of them. In other words, I haven't really met the guys, but I have seen both of their pictures, and they are two different people. Which, if you could date one of these guys, one of these three white boys, who would they be? Freddie Thomas, NJ, or Final Limits? Freddie is cute. I'm not gonna lie. Freddie is absolutely adorable. He has the face of a teddy bear, and he's very sweet to boot. I'm not gonna lie. NJ has that whole sinister kind of Joker smile, like he has that whole Joker smile and that little wink, and he's kind of clever and crafty, and he's attractive as well. Final Limits kind of looks like a young Raven, so it's kind of difficult to say which one would I date. If I had an opportunity to date them all, I would. And I know that's a really big cop out, but I'm gonna be real. They're attractive guys. You know, you can't necessarily pick one. They're all cute and attractive, so you can't really pick one. But who's better looking? I don't know. They all have their qualities. They really do. I like Raven. I like Raven's flavor. He was an attractive guy. Final Limits kind of remind me of that. Even though I have met him or talked to him face to face, I have talked to Freddie and NJ. Freddie is a very fun-loving guy. We each have different interests, but better looking, they all are. They're all very attractive. They are. It's kind of difficult to pick. Who would you rather, Griffin or Final Limits? Date? I wouldn't mind dating them both. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go the both route. I wouldn't mind dating them both. Mr. Griffin's a very sweet guy. Final Limits has that whole flavor. Plus, he's one of my biggest supporters, and he's a really cool guy to talk to and chat with on Facebook. So I would say I would definitely date them both. Um, okay. Who would you ever date a white man like those above? Yeah, I have actually. I've had my ex-boyfriend was white and he kind of looked like Randy Orton. And one guy I dated like 6 years ago, briefly on a brief date, he looked like Buff Bagwell. So yeah, I have dated guys that look like wrestlers that are white. Pretty much. If you look like a wrestler and you're white, then hey, no, I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. Moving on from there. Oh gosh. Moving on from there to where did I go from here? I think I'm going down. Okay. Brony Loney. What if Cena and The Rock won the tag team titles? It wouldn't last. Mainly because they hate each other. So that definitely would not work. The next question that you have for me is who would you rather The Rock face at WrestleMania 31? Triple H or his cousin Roman Reigns? I would definitely say Roman Reigns. I've talked to this many times to Mr. Griffin, and I really do believe that Roman Reigns would be the best candidate. I would rather see, it would be a great storyline as well. Great storyline to making. Who would be the better guy? You have to beat the man. Oh, to be the man, you got to beat the man. So definitely Roman Reigns will have to beat the man in order to be the man. And why is the YWC and IWC going against Roman Reigns? I have no idea. I really don't. But let's just put it this way. They have a tendency to be a bit fickle. But that's just how it is. They have their own opinion. They're entitled to it. If the Shield were together now, who would you see with them feuding with in the future? Honestly, I don't know. If they were together now, they would pretty much be beating up everybody in WWE. That's what they would be doing at this very moment. And that's how I personally see it. Because with the Wyatts gone, they have nobody to feud with. So, that's just how it is. What do you think of Luke Harper's theme song? It fits. It's weird, but it really does fit. The whole like it's kind of weird to hear, but it does fit with this whole psychotic heel character. So it's not it's horrible, but it works. I'll just say it like that. Okay. The next set of questions that I have comes from Justin Side. What did you think of Boys and Men with their hit song on the End of the Road from 21 years ago? It was great until I heard it in every single freaking graduation there was in the 90s. So it was the point, it was either that or Good Riddance. So either or, those songs got played out quick. Seriously, I love me some Green Day and I love me some Boys and Men, but good grief, I was done. It was just too much oversaturation. Done. Do you remember Boys and Men in the early 90s back in your college days? Well, actually, in my college days, Boys and Men kind of got a bit played out. Like, not a lot of people are listening to boy bands that much anymore in college. They have their own kind of, like colleges kind of have their own kind of sound, their own kind of music, and it wasn't so poppy. It was more alternative. So they really didn't listen to Boys and Men that much during my college days. It was great during the high school days, but not during the college days. Not a lot of people listen to Boys and Men that often. When did you graduate from high school? In 90. I actually graduated in 1998. Are you in your late 30s or early 40s? Do I really look that old to you? Good grief. I'm 34 years old and I'm going to be 35 next year. But no, I haven't reached that yet. My next set of questions comes from John Cunt. What are your thoughts on Tito Ortiz? He's a great fighter. I was kind of disappointed in him when he kind of backed out in the fight. And after he did that, kind of lost respect for the guy. What are your thoughts on Summer Rae? She's a great heel. I really do believe that she has a potential to be an awesome heel, one of the top heels in the Divas division. But unfortunately, they're not really giving her much of a chance. And I'm hoping that they will instead of pairing up with freaking Fandango. But that's kind of over because of Rosa Mendez, who really, really sucks as being a dancer. Unless she was drunk that day. I have no idea. But anyway, what do you think of Taryn Terrell winning the Knockouts title? She won the Knockouts title? I wouldn't know because I honestly haven't watched TNA in weeks. I really haven't. I've been so tired every time it came on Wednesday that I had passed out literally. But if they had a decent build, her building up for her actually becoming a Knockouts champ, I wouldn't mind that. But if they just handed her the belt, then no, I wouldn't be happy at all. Have you heard of Maurice and Eve Torres possibly coming back to WWE? Yeah, I have, but I'm not thrilled about that either because I really want WWE to be focused on their future and not their past. Um, and it's not something that's all that great. Even though I like them, while I like Maurice, I'm okay with Eve, but I really do need to be focused on the future and those that are actually in the back that wants to go out and have their 15 minutes. Why do you not like Eve Torres? The reason why I don't is because there's too much of her. It's to the point where she oversaturated herself in that brand that I was just so done with her after she valeted with Crime Time. That's when I was done with Eve Torres altogether. I was finished. I'm like, there's too much of her. I need space. She needs to be on my screen at least for a few months. Like, just give me some space. And she was just there. She was like a clingy girlfriend. She wouldn't go away. Or a clingy boyfriend. She wouldn't just go away. She was always there. That's why I didn't like her, for that reason. But anyway, my next set of questions comes from Lino Gino. Do you plan making more podcasts like you did with Mr. Griffin in the future? Well, you didn't say in the future. I kind of added that in. But yeah, if I actually had the time to plan out, to arrange another podcast, because it's so much. If I do a podcast, more than likely someone's going to be on it, so I have to actually plan around their schedule. And if I actually decide to do a podcast, more than likely I might just do another one. But it has to be something special. There has to be a reason why I'm doing it. For example, if I do it for the Royal Rumble, I might do one for the Rumble, and I'm definitely going to do one for WrestleMania 31. So either or, it has to be a special event. So more than likely, I'm going to probably do it in the future before special events. What are your thoughts on the whole Michael Brown Ferguson thing? Trial, not thing. I don't know that much about it, even though I've been filled in a few times by other people. I don't watch the news. I just know that it caused a really massive uproar all over the East Coast, and it's something really, really huge, and I just don't really pay much attention to the news. From what I'm hearing is something similar to what happened to Trayvon Martin, and if that's the case, good grief. That's sad. That really does break my heart. Have you heard about the cop that shot that black kid who was 12 years old because he had a gun? No, I haven't. And like I said, I don't really watch the news just because it's just way too much darkness and trauma watching the news. That's why I stopped. But good grief, that's just sad. What do you think about Brie Bella recently turning heel? And why did that slut turn heel? I wouldn't call her a slut, but either or. Brie Bella, if she turned heel on SmackDown, I didn't watch it because I'm kind of done with SmackDown. I really am. I haven't recorded SmackDown in months, so I really wouldn't know. And if she did turn heel, I have no idea why. Do you think people need to stop committing crimes to stop getting killed? I really don't think that you have to commit crimes to get killed these days, which is sad. But we're just in very, very dark times. That's just what it is. Ever play Crash Bandicoot games? Going from dark to light, man. But yeah, I have. I played on the PS1 a long, long time ago, and I haven't played it since because I don't have a PlayStation anymore. My cousin broke it. Yay. Thank you, cousin. But moving on from there to Lonnie Lowell. I don't usually answer Lonnie Lowell's questions because of how prejudiced or racist they are, but he does absolutely have a legit question that he sends me, so I will answer them. Why do people and the media blame white cops for killing black teenagers when black teenagers are out committing crimes? Yes, this sounds very prejudiced, and it is. But you don't have to commit crimes to get killed. And I will say this, and I kind of not really relate, but I kind of understand what you're trying to say, even though it comes out rude. I will say that cops in general, whether they're black or white, have a life decision. They have a life choice to make. They have a live or die choice to make, not only for themselves, but also for the people that they're trying to arrest. They literally have to make these choices daily, these decisions daily on the fly. Sometimes when they shoot people, it is in self-defense. Sometimes when they do shoot people, it's not. And I have no idea if these cops did it out of malice, but I know that they absolutely have to have these life-changing decisions to make daily, and it's a double-edged sword. It's either they do it right or they don't, and it's kind of messed up. And I know that whoever shot these people have to live with that for the rest of their lives, whether they don't care or whether they do. That's what they have to live with daily. So I can kind of see what you're talking about. And as for the media only spins it to get people to watch their show or read their papers or whatever. That's the reason why they do it. It's not even about information anymore. It's about shock value. So as for the media, that's why they do it. And it's sad. It really, really is sad. Have people ever stopped to think that young black males, if they didn't commit crimes, that they would still be alive today? And as for the whole Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown thing, like I said, I don't know enough information to even have an opinion on it. But I'm going to be real about this. And I'm just going to say it flat out. You don't have to commit crimes to get shot. Not in this day and age. And I don't think anybody wants to get shot. There you go. Moving on from there to my final set of questions from Final Lemons. What if the Usos were tag team champs today? Good grief. Oh man, it would be the most boring title reign ever. They were so boring as tag champs. It was a great triumph to see them win the first time, but good night was it boring. Like, they had the most boring title reign ever. And I'm kind of happy they lost it. Did you watch the AMAs on Sunday? No, I did not. Why does Taylor Swift always dance in the audience when someone performs? Because she wants to. Hey, she's human too. She wants to dance. Go for it. Do you really weigh 187 because you look like you weigh 160? Thank you, dude. And no, my glasses weren't messed up. I really was 187 at the time. I have lost a few pounds. I'm at 185 now. Yay, I'm making progress. But thank you so much for the compliment, man. You are awesome. And also, thank you guys for sending me questions. By all means, if you guys have questions that you want to send me, please send them to me via YouTube or on my Twitter at RKH30, #NatureGirlQ&A. It's NatureGirl30 signing off. Peace out, y'all. Later.